So after we did the Halloween one, we were like, "You gonna do a Christmas one?" And I was like, "No, of course not. The Halloween one was a big pain in the ass."
And then a week later,
I wasn't expecting this one, but it did. I think it was less work overall than the no,
not in post production.
Less location heavy. We could all just kind of camp out
location.
here.
Less work in production, but post production was pretty hard because I had to do a Junt's car and a BoxMac.
Lots of eggs.
So this is the beautiful animation
this is really
of
cool.
EJ Master.
I really like this.
oh yeah, I made this. It's in the style of "It's a Wonderful Life." The angels in the beginning talking, or the saints talking to the angel and stuff like that.
Yeah, so this is our own Frankie Frame, and then
A black guy.
a black guy from
Fiverr,
from
right?
Fiverr.
Yeah,
who,
Fiverr.com.
Recorded it for us
And he did an awesome job.
for a couple bucks.
I remember doing this was this parody of It's a Wonderful Life was the only idea I had going into it. And I thought we were going to do It's a Wonderful Mac or something.
Yeah.
And then at the last minute, I was like, I should do a sitcom. And this was the first bit that I edited right here, like
Yeah.
the empty kitchen and the Joy to the World fanfare. And I remember editing it on the couch and showing Nina, and she was like, "Oh, that's so Christmassy."
Oh, it really is nice and Christmassy, though. It makes me very happy. It makes me wish it was Christmas again.
And of course, and Gift of the Mac guys, or doing a Gift of the Magi parody was Nina's idea. We were out for a run, and she was like, "How about like you give him a rapid Mac, but he gave away his microwave?" It was. I think that was the idea, and then we came up with the mac and cheese cookies. We kind of came up with it all on one run.
Yep.
Then I came back to the house, wrote the whole thing out, shared it with you guys.
Yeah, the script was like available super quick.
Yeah. Well, it's not hard to write for sitcoms.
So just talking about the camera setups, it's the C100 on a wide, and I think a 7D on the close-ups. Try to keep the color consistent with the two cameras.
Yeah, and super. Yeah, we probably wouldn't use a lens that wide because it warps the edges a little bit next time. But it does look pretty sitcom-y. We were going for a multi-cam sitcom thing where we actually were shooting everything in the same.
Yeah, yellow walls aren't also really suited to sitcom either. It's just the nature of my house.
Better than white walls.
Yeah.
I never shoot against white walls anymore. Never again. Let me tell you something. I've never used canned laughter before in anything I've ever made. There is a science to it. And I had to experiment with it a lot.
Yeah, otherwise it comes off awkward, doesn't it?
I only had a few tracks. But yeah, there's when they go really loud, when they just kind of like acknowledge that you made a joke.
When they're kind of like judging the comedy, when they're like, "Ooh, that was too far."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they make a little commentary. The cliffhanger here, right? At the And we've mentioned it before, but the Chris Mack cookies, an Instagram person was the one who gave us the idea for that because we Instagrammed the picture. This was like one of the last things we had to shoot, and I think the opening here was supposed to be a lot more dynamic, but we got lazy and just shot around the immediate area. Yeah, and
we walked like
this shot was so lazy.
We genuinely considered just showing footage of John walking around. And there was
that's basically what it is.
Yeah, I mean, with more time, this could have been a lot cooler, but we lazed out.
Yeah, the blankets, the gags, those were so lazy, but that's where we were.
You guys went off and shot this on your own, didn't you?
Yeah, we shot this at the same time we shot the stuff downstairs in my house. This is the one that gets me. And that is the Icelandic Mac, which we still haven't reviewed.
Yeah, still haven't. We got to get around to that.
As of this particular.
I like that it ends with me going back.
Oh, and I was super proud of this for some reason because we shot it that way, but I hadn't considered editing it this way, where it comes up on their laughter that they're already laughing at the notion of a skeleton. and I was so happy when I came up with that later. And this is, of course, Gray, who said who's fatter before, so now she's getting repeatedly looped into the canon.
A running gag.
Yes.
Did you talk to her live? Is that?
Yeah, I'm talking to her there live.
Yeah, it's kind of I thought it was kind of interesting and strange. I mean, that neither of you she didn't have a script, certainly. She was just being her.
I was just coaxing her and stuff. And I actually just got a text that said that she bought you a fart piano because they're coming to visit in a couple of weeks. And
what does a fart piano look like?
I don't know. I think it's a piano that plays farts.
That's hilarious.
And this is what amuses her. And speaking of the Brinkmeyers, Emily's brother made that shirt.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, the red cow design there.
Red Cow Christmas.
And I wanted to. I don't know why I had this on my mind, but I wanted to wrap in the. Yeah, we did commercials too, which is very strange for YouTube, and that's why I did it.
Oh, that was a great.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah.
I mean, we were never gone.
Now, Benny's.
No, Benny's. So this was shot with iPhones, not with anything, because we want to keep it like kind of on the low key.
Very mixed format video presentation.
And our lenses aren't super clean.
Yeah. And that's the thing is,
Minor.
especially about just Junt's cart in general, we don't want to have professional cameras because
You don't want to have big
we
stuff.
don't ask for permission
No.
to do these.
Oh, we've only ever been kicked out of $1.
And John calls enough attention to himself
I know.
I do.
with the way he shops.
We've been asked about it, but usually they don't care.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm shooting my friend. He's funny.
Yeah, and then
They
that's
don't
enough.
care.
People probably think we're Snapchatting or something the kids do. You know?
That's what I thought, but the Dollar Tree wasn't happy.
Yeah, but there was some
Nina did buy this and does wear it.
No, I didn't buy that one. I bought another one that you'll see me hold up, the blue and white one. And I was telling Frankie, I think of it as a Christmas shirt. Like I go to put it on, and I'm like, oh, this isn't
This
really
is
appropriate,
Christmas.
though, because to me, this is a Christmas shirt.
Did you get that Spider-Man thing?
No, I didn't.
No?
I still don't know what the hell it was.
What did you end up getting? Your
I think I know what it is.
for a gift.
I ultimately ended up getting him a Finn action figure. from
Oh,
the
nice.
new Star Wars.
That's cool.
We've completely stopped talking about anything technical, and now we're reminiscing.
Do you still wear slippers everywhere?
Not as much.
I mean, this was during the wintertime.
Yeah, they're very comfortable. They're super comfortable. But when it's muddy out, like it's been this winter, I wear real shoes.
I think there's something wrong with my lens on my iPhone. Although halfway through this, we started shooting with Nina's to improve it, and it wasn't much better. So I think iPhones are just, it's tough with those fluorescent lights.
Yeah.
You had to pretend that you weren't even there.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Like, because I'm the one, of course, the one shooting it, but the in-story gag is that you're shopping for Frankie. So it was one of the. Normally, I speak to you from behind the camera and I participate, and this time
And it was super awkward at first. It felt like really out of sorts, but then thankfully
Nina had to fill that gap.
Nina stepped in and became like the counter talk.
Just some other boring things is we shot the narrative parts of the special in 30 frames per second.
Right.
That's right. So it
just
looks more
to make it look more
comedic.
TV. As comparison, we shoot most everything else in 24 frames per second. The Halloween special has more narrative, even though BoxMac in general is not narrative, but we shoot that in 24 as well.
Just because we prefer 24. I mean, we would probably never shoot in 30 unless we were kind of making fun of 30 frames a second.
Yes,
It's the standard now to 24.
yeah, and
BoxMac itself's in 24.
yes, that's correct.
That's what you just said.
No, I mean not even in the show in the specials.
In this special,
general.
it turns back to 24.
Yeah.
Which means I had to have a mixed frame rate timeline in Premiere.
Whoa, that's a supported thing.
There are slight problems with it.
Okay.
It's weird. Just to get a little wonky about that, it's like sometimes mixed frame rates is no big deal. Sometimes it is, and I think it has something to do with what your sound is captured.
Yeah.
One thing that was nice about the shooting on the 70 and on the C100, those H.264 formats is, I'm used to, when we shoot a BoxMac, it's probably, they average about, one shoot can be 20 to 40 gigs
Wow.
of GH4 footage. And this was like 2 gigs for the entire
the
narrative section.
The GH4 does 4K, so it's roughly double, sometimes more. And actually, the C100, their file sizes are much more economic, even like compared to the 5D or the 7D.
Yep.
This was like the concept, the notion of doing a 40-minute holiday presentation with commercials, a variety of our different shows and content, going from narrative to non-narrative.
Animation.
Yeah, I like voiceover. I just thought that was super fun.
Yeah, it turned out to be actually a lot more complicated and cool than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Especially since we didn't even really know at the start of the day. We didn't even know what location we were going to go to do the Junt's Cart. We just knew that it had to
Right.
hit the plot point.
We knew we had to. Yeah, that's what was in the script. Was like,
Yeah.
then he goes to a Junt's cart and he gets a Santa hat.
That's right.
all we
And that
knew,
was the
really.
whole thing. But I think Benny's worked out really well.
And then we saw a lot more Benny's commercials. Weren't there a lot of
There was
like?
a huge advertising push.
Then Benny started doing this weird thing like the week afterward where they started doing like these giant 50% off sales on Tuesday nights. They'd be open 24 hours and everything in the store would be like 25 or 50% off.
Yeah, it was crazy. I missed them,
I actually
unfortunately.
went back and bought some more
Did you buy some stuff?
during the 25% off.
And their prices are pretty good to begin with.
So
but it was
kids, go
quite a
down
sale.
to Benny's. Benny's, you get your stuff.
Well, they did the really cool thing was like if you had an existing layaway, they would then apply the 25% to
Oh, wow.
anything that counted.
That's nice.
Because it wasn't on everything. Like if you had a sale, like if anything was on sale, it wouldn't be marked down.
Yeah.
But you could still apply it to like an existing layaway, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh, I want some more Necco wafers.
Classic Necco wafers.
I want a whole bunch.
But yeah, so these holiday specials, like we've only done 2, but they, I made 4 features. I did a play one time, wrote a book. Like I've done a bunch of stuff. These might be like at least the Halloween one might be like the most fun thing I've ever done.
Certainly in terms of fun and also the production pace. I mean, it was lots of locations, but it was still
Still confined to the day.
Yeah.
It was doable.
And every personality on this particular crew was really relaxed. Like nobody was all that. I mean, if I'm the most wound up person, then I'm in a. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, everybody should be calmer than Frankie.
Yeah, it's pretty chill.
This day felt really easy. Obviously, there's a lot of work in editing here, but
But it was, it's like like I never got into experimental filmmaking. This is like the closest to like experimental filmmaking I'll probably ever do.
it is like a fascinating combination of very many types of media.
Because I promise you,
presentation.
I promise you, when we do like our next feature, will not be shot in 4:3.
At 4K 4:3,
or with a VHS filter or in 30 frames a second. So it's like it's this really fun sandbox.
Yeah. Hey, it's been great to use them as kind of that. It's been like great to get us back thinking about
Narrative.
narrative.
Well, it's fun for me too because I get to try out cameras, techniques,
Yep,
and
styles.
maybe I could even incorporate that into our next feature.
That's true. You're kind of like also doing tech demos.
Prototyping. Yeah.
I did, and again, I did the review and the Halloween episode,
Which is on this Blu-ray.
which is on this Blu-ray.
Yeah. yeah.
And so it was fun for me to try it out and incorporate it into my work too.
That was one of the things that inspired me to want to do the Halloween one initially. Was first it was the idea of like, wouldn't that be a real WTF kind of thing on the audience? And then I was like, oh, and EJ would probably really spark to it because the guy just keeps renting cameras and he has a lot of camera availability, and he's probably going like, man, this feature of this camera is really cool. I wish I had an excuse to use it.
Yeah, it's like instead of just like filming my family members or
Yeah.
like statues or something.
Yeah. So I was you enabled me.
Well, we enable each other.
That's right.
Aw.
And then before you know it, we're like, fuck, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, and then all of a
I
sudden
think
we're making a feeture.
I feel that every time you must sit down to edit, you must get that feeling. Like,
There's
my kitchen looks so nice and clean there.
Nina put it into shape. Oh, that was sent to us in the Chicago box, that air
Yeah,
freshener. We were able to
yeah.
repurpose it as a
Christmas ornament.
and the Notary Public pillow was
Prominently featured.
well. This is how crazy things get. We set it up in the Sears Black Friday episode. That was the first time we spoke about it.
Yep.
And then it got paid off, or at least re-referenced in this.
Intentionally.
So
it
if
was
you-
intentionally placed there.
If you follow all Junt content chronologically, small stories like that weave their way through.
The hidden layer of Junt content.
We had to both sit on the floor, which for us is killed
Especially for me.
our
It's-
circulation.
I was actually okay because of the way I'm
But
sitting. so.
except you, there's no. You told
rolled
me
away.
you were like, I'm not gonna be able to get up in the frame. It's a 15-second process.
is.
So I was like, okay, we can't do that. This was super fun.
Yeah, these aren't very sitcom-y shots, but it's fun. They
But,
look good.
yeah, the over the shoulder stuff. But how else would you shoot it? You know, you just
in
couldn't.
that space, there is no way.
I think shot if they were much closer, it wouldn't be sitcom-y. And then when we do go closer, that's like the tender moment. You know,
Yeah,
it
that's
makes sense.
It still works. In
John
our,
got pissed there, and he threw the.
And then I had them in my hand in the next shot. There was not much for continuity on this.
There's a really funny outtake where I say action, and you just kind of lazily walk into the kitchen, and I'm like, you don't look very urgent or upset.
Is that in the bloops?
Are those
Yes.
Rapid Max the ones you gave away to fans?
Yes,
or-
it's from that stack,
Yeah.
and the rest of that stack is at my home.
At your home.
I haven't given away. We should have given one to Andrew there. That's
Oh, we totally should.
on a future episode.
Yeah.
But and then that was pretty much it. We didn't have angles of John towards the end of that scene for some reason.
Frankie and I have a problem where we forget coverage.
We need a script soup.
Yeah, we need a script supervisor. We both are autistically figuring out our own little things, and we just need some continuity, somebody looking after that.
Oh, and then this is like, what did I do here? I changed
snow
I changed the background to have that nice, cute teddy bear back there. Added a snow overlay and changed the music to be Tenda,
Tenda.
Christmas Tenda, North Polish.
North Polish.
And that's that Christmas hat. Nina's had that for a long, long time. I got to use it.
I like that one. I like
Do you
both
guys
the
want
hats.
to talk about the beginning sitcom intro music? Like,
Oh yeah, well, we didn't talk about the writing the music.
the
Oh
writing
yeah,
music.
that was a
Well,
lot of fun.
It was when I wrote the script, I just kind of wrote like, okay, and then we'll do like an opening theme song. And then I wrote the theme song sitting there. I recorded it on my iPhone, really haphazard, like just sloppy. Sent it to John and was like, see if you can make a melody out of this. And to my surprise, John, in a couple of days, you had it.
Yeah, it came out. I think it came out really well. That was done on a Phantom X6, which is the same keyboard we used in Abo the Hue Monkey. It's kind of been hanging around, though I did get some new sounds for it. Yeah, I was really kind of inspired by the Babysitters Club theme.
Which is what we that was what the whole thing was based on.
Yeah, especially you'll hear some guitar riffs in there, and that was really
love those.
the use of that style was directly kind of out of there. I think it really came out really good. We actually had someone from Fiverr do a vocal record of it, but we weren't super impressed with it.
No.
And yours had way more energy and passion, so we ended up going with
It's not as well sung, but we kind of ran out of time. It would have been nice to get somebody like, you know, an 80s-ish female vocalist or something to do it. But
Yeah.
ultimately, you want the jokes of the song to hit, and you need the energy to do that.
That's right. It's a
But
little more important than the vocals.
your melodyless track, the one that really is just kind of like the backing and the hits and stuff.
Yep.
That I use in the credits. You can hear that in full in the credits. That's
Yeah.
why I just the gag ends up being just an endless scroll of
Yes.
credits,
So you
so I
can
could
hear the
play
whole
the
thing.
entire song, and I love it. I didn't even put my normal voiceover of like, and watch this next and stuff like. I just let the music play because I loved it, and I put the Scholastic book.
I love that. I love that gag. That's a great that's like a 1%er, but
I don't even know what my joke is there. I just want to imply that there is like a third-rate video production company that put this out.
yeah, and it's Scholastic related somehow.
Yeah.
Like there's an educational component.
There's an
to this.
educational component. You might find it in a Scholastic book fair.
Yeah. Where did you actually lift the Scholastic logo from?
From the Babysitters Club theme song.
Oh, okay.
On YouTube.
All right.
That
That
guy in
makes
yellow
sense.
isn't bringing anything to us.
This was the episode where that commenter said that.
Is that really?
Yeah. He's like, but get rid of it.
Tuck.
He bought.
Brendan-
You remember, and you will always
You
remember.
brought really nicely minced shallots to the team.
Yeah. What about that,
And
Brandon?
all the cheese. He shredded all the damn cheese.
That's right.
Yeah.
This was fun. This was a fun time to just like kind of have everybody in the kitchen like making something.
Which is kind of funny. The wide angle lens probably makes it look slightly
yeah.
bigger than it is, but it's pretty cramped in there.
Yeah, it is. It's a tiny little kitchen.
But also, this was the first time, not the only time, but the first time that we used the C100 instead of the 7D as the wide cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mixmaster Olivia
Noticed.
noticed, which was like kind of amazing, but she must look at this kind of footage all day.
Yeah.
That's another YouTuber that, like, you know, when you post a lot to YouTube, you get the same commenters after a while. You start to get to know who the people are that are
Yep.
watching. And yeah, we have, EJ's got this one fan that came from his reviews that followed him to Red Cow. And I think she works with camera equipment or something. And so every time like we change up a camera, she's like, aha.
I see what you did.
What are you using there? Are you using light leaks or whatever?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So, I don't know if there's going to be a lot more to say besides this. We could probably cut it there. and just allow them to watch us cook for a while.
I don't know. Let me see if I can think of anything
Is there
else.
anything else that's kind of interesting?
I wore that shirt to my work's potluck, and they were like, "Oh, festive," but they didn't notice the cows and didn't make the connection necessarily. And I made BoxMac for that potluck, and I used the guaranteed value, which I found through this show, and I made 5 boxes of it with the Rapid Mac because there was no stove for the potluck.
Yep.
And a little sign got made next to it that says "Box Macaroni and Cheese, Frankie Frayne," and I took it, and now that lives on my desk permanently.
That's a great
Because all of our coworkers watch the show.
Yeah, mine do.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make a quick comment. So we're filming these in 4K. So a great thing that Frankie can do is he can reframe shots as he wants.
Yeah, that's a really powerful tool.
We're mastering in 1080p. So if if he wants to cut between two similarly looking, like right there, he's pushed in probably to get some filler out or mix between shots.
Normally, it's like one of the first rules is like if you have 2 of the same kinds of shots, you don't cut between them unless that's the style.
Yeah.
And it especially on YouTube with bloggers and stuff, it's extremely common that people do, but it's called a jump cut. I mean, that's what it is. When you go from 2 of the same kind of shot, if you want to go for a little bit more of a professional look, a little less of a bloggy look, then you cut between a more diverse portfolio of shots, and I make it sound financial. And going from close to wider, or even being able to be like, oh, let's get Nina's reaction in this moment instead of. That it makes a big difference.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it adds a lot. It's almost like you're shooting with like 3 cameras or 4 cameras.
That's right. And when we did the documentary, or as we continue to do the documentary, there have been times where I've set up a wide with the 4K on an interview, and then I just jump in for their close-up. So it's like I have 2 cameras.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And honestly, that to me is like the best part of having 4K. Oh, but I guess I should have said this on the Halloween one, but little known fact. The Halloween one is the only episode to be its final master is in 4K.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, just because of the 4:3?
I didn't use we don't jump in at all in the BoxMac episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
So that is
interesting.
all shot in 4K.
I didn't know that. That's an interesting trivia fact.
But
Is it available on YouTube in 4K?
No.
But so you upscaled the wide then?
Yes, that's exactly what I did. I upscaled the wide. Yep. See, he's smart, folks.
That's why they pay the big bucks.
But you'll notice in the Halloween one that I never do any of those tricks because I wanted all the narrative stuff. It all lived on the same timeline, and I wanted all the narrative stuff to
Kind of fit together.
to be finished in 4K.
Not jump style to style. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
It's like people mastering movies in 4K now. So
Right.
It's almost got a timeless.
It's almost like the archive format or something.
Yeah.
Although 8K is around the corner, folks.
Oh, jeez.
And then I can jump in even closer to John's nostrils or something.
Although most people are mastering in 2K still.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like even movies, like
But sometimes if the subject is on the kind of like the edge of the frame and you try to do that crop in stuff, they'll be a little bit warped. And sometimes I let it go and I don't care because it's worth it. But I try to avoid that a lot of the time. We edit in Adobe Premiere.
Which version are you using nowadays? Using the cloud?
CC 2015. Yeah. And one thing I don't like is that they in the timeline they preview your uncropped 4K shots.
yeah.
What is it they
Really?
do? Yeah, they like if I don't scale the frame down to 1080,
Yep.
it will do it for me in preview mode. And so I actually have to render the clip out before I can see what it's going to look like in the final cropped in version.
Sounds like something that needs to be just manually adjusted in the program.
Well, they probably have I don't know why they do it. Finally, John can cook real things.
What is there any home style? Do you guys ever make home style Mac?
It's too much work. As you can see here, it's a lot of work.
I never do. I don't
Usually
cook
when
anything.
I cook, I want to have it done in like 30, 45 minutes, and this is like 55 minutes of cooking.
I will occasionally because I eat a lot of cheese. I like
eat
to.
a lot of cheese.
Does this show increase your cheese consumption?
Well, no,
Joe?
it's just I like a nice like French spread with bread and cheese and meats and such stuff like that. And sometimes I just have like blocks of cheese lying around, and I got some elbow noodles.
Oh, I've still got a couple. I could make this right now.
And sometimes I have an onion lying around, so I will make basically something very similar to this. I do like a nice baked mac and cheese. I don't do breadcrumbs. No, I've never done
Get the
breadcrumbs.
breadcrumbs out of my house. Breadcrumbs are good in a meatloaf, though. I'll tell you what.
That's true.
I do. I think people like it overall. I'll cut in clips from. If one of us makes a reference to The Simpsons.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll cut in the clip. And
You've never had any YouTube trouble with that?
No, because I keep it really short.
Yeah.
And the way it works is that copyright holders determine how many. Like if Content ID matches it for more than 10 seconds, then take it down. Otherwise, it's fine. But I don't know. I kind of reserve the right to make references to television and movies that I like during a traditional
Absolutely.
BoxMac. And I kind of like to cut to the clips and at least show the people that it was a reference that I was making.
Yeah.
And even if they don't understand it because they don't know what the clip was from.
Yep.
I guess I should put in the credits where the clips were from, but that's just too much work.
It's a lot, yeah. I mean, you don't usually go to too many per episode, right?
No, not normally. But I like to, it's otherwise it sounds like we're just talking nonsense if I don't cut to the reference.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's I think even like the Plinkett reviews, which I think influence us all.
Yeah.
Like what I like about that is they always, whenever he mentions a detail in Star Wars or in other things, he always backs it up with it's almost like a reference, like if you're writing a paper.
Yep.
Like
A citation.
Like a citation, I mean. Yeah. So he says something, and then he proves it by just showing you, so he's not just talking out of his ass. I
That's
kind of
right.
like that rhythm to it.
Yeah, it's a kind of credibility, I guess. Like it's like I'm substantiating the things that I'm saying with intertextual. This is getting really intelligent.
It's just like gooey cheese on the screen.
I'm just looking at the gooey cheese. Even though we've just shot a ton of BoxMacs, I'm like, ooh, cheese.
Yeah, this is the food porniest of the. Oh yeah, EJ, you had to monitor audio while shooting.
Oh yeah, I was.
Because everybody's on camera. We didn't have any more bodies.
Well, for my job, I have to wear a lot of hats anyway. I'm usually monitoring audio, doing 2 camera setups, and so it's kind of my wheelhouse to just be doing a ton of things at the same time. So I don't mind.
Nina jumped at doing the Cheetos. She wanted, and her fingers were orange forever.
Fingers.
Yep.
The Cheetos were a failure.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Never again.
They like Zach. They bring nothing to me. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
Zach is the Cheetos.
I'm so sorry.
I'm the Cheetos of homestyle, Matt.
What was that guy's name? Asshole Tuck or something?
Brendan Tuck.
Brendan Tuck.
Friar Tuck.
It's strange. We have a subsect of fans who watch every week excitedly, and they always tune in, and they're big fans, but they never have anything nice to say.
Maybe they're just sad, unhappy people.
The Tuck guy yelled at you. I'm pretty sure it was him for not stirring in the ketchup.
Yeah, that's right.
But I was adamant that they must stir in the ketchup, and you were like, nope. We're talking about the Canada cleanup episode.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, you're just supposed to crap it on at the top. And I was like, I wonder why John thinks that. And I just deferred to him. He was wrong. Why did you think that was the case?
Because it'll just taste like ketchup, and it did, and I guess that's the
so
point.
you reasoned it out. It wasn't based on actual evidence.
No, it was just based on why would you just eat ketchup noodles?
In all fairness to John, every time we Googled mac and cheese and ketchup, and especially Canadian mac and cheese and ketchup, it was always that same image of a maple leaf drawn in ketchup on
they
top
love
of the
their
mac
But
and
he
cheese.
didn't see any of that.
I did.
That's what I
I've
thought.
seen that before. Maybe it was just sitting around in my brain.
John and I were in the same
My
place.
brain.
Yeah, Brian. That Benny's Junt's cart, as of the recording of this commentary, was the most recent Junt's cart that we've done.
Yeah, we got to do some more.
Yeah.
Maybe next week.
The aggressive schedule of a BoxMac every week is pretty hard. I was talking to a person who does marketing for a living last week, and they were talking about sort of the quality curve versus the gain that you get from it. That they're on YouTube. There's a lot of content that takes almost no effort to create and gets a tremendous amount of hits. Then there's content that takes a tremendous amount of effort to make and therefore gets a tremendous amount of hits.
Yeah.
But there's in between there's like a relationship of amount of work to amount of hits.
Yeah.
And you can, if you hit it wrong, and he said sketch comedy is a really good example of this, that you'll put in a tremendous amount of work producing it and not get a lot of hits in return. Yeah. And I'm sure that, I'm having to put up pictures of the Neelys because of Zach.
Because of me.
His one addition, his one contribution. But I'm sure the holiday specials are examples of that, of like way more work to hit ratio. But you know what? Like in marketing, they say we have a lot of alpha consumers. We have a lot of people who are huge fans of us.
Yeah.
And we reward them like crazy.
Yeah.
We give those people a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to.
Just Blu-ray is for them.
Yeah.
Like on the subreddit, we try to be active. We try to respond to people.
Yep.
We, try to be fast on the Facebook. So, hey man, if you talk to us on any of those channels, we will gladly feed our egos.
I mean, I still think, Frankie, that there's a lot of people out there who would love this that we're not reaching.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I've been.
I think
talking to
there's
Hasbro.
probably a 50K audience for this.
Well, so yeah, the guy I was talking to, his name is Kevin King. He works for Hasbro. He does he markets a lot of their gaming stuff, and he wears the shirt around the office. And he spoke to the top people who promote Transformers.
Yeah.
And they said the bad news is they watched it and they liked it. They said it was good content, especially for YouTube, because they described it as like, in terms of quality, top 1% for production value of YouTube, in terms of production value. But they said the bad news is because of the niche topic, it will not exceed 100,000 views per episode.
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't care.
Yeah, but
I mean,
that's
I'd
what
be
I
fine
said.
with half that. Yeah. 50K is fine with me. I don't care that the topic's niche, but yeah, but we'll see. I don't know if it'll ever get it.
You have to change the discoverability, as they say. You know, YouTube's not one of those places where just because it's good, anyone's going to watch it.
That's right.
I love how we're drifting into like YouTube like metrics wonkiness.
Unfortunately, it's like a big part of this. Is like because we do put a tremendous amount of.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we were only getting like 300 hits an episode. We were really kind of
The morale was down.
Morale was down.
Because, like we were just saying, I mean, like you hear us talking about the cameras and about the editing and about all the effort we put in, and then for nobody, to feel like you're doing it in a vacuum can be kind of a. But we made a movie about that one time.
And also the guy who like immediately downvotes our videos when they fuck you.
What the hell? Yeah. Almost.
You won't be hearing this because you won't
Did I
have
screw
bought
something
the
up?
Blu-ray. So
Yeah.
Is it running? No, it's fine. I guess.
I hope you didn't ruin it.
Nobody cares at this point anyway. Nobody's listening.
Oh, our alpha fans are.
Yeah. They like dug their Blu-ray player out of a trash bin and playing it.
they found the controller to their PS3.
I have a.
That's a very internal reference that no one's gonna get.
Well, let me explain it. I have a prototype of the Blu-ray I wanted to show the crew here today. And John has a PS3 connected to his TV. I thought for sure things would be fine.
And yeah, it does power on, but I don't have any way to control.
But he doesn't have like his PS3 controllers anywhere. He just can't play a Blu-ray.
Because I haven't used it in a year and a half.
I mean, I get it. You don't want to watch Blu-rays.
I don't like Blu-ray.
But it was disappointing to realize just how many people are not with me on optical media. But it is what it is.
It's the reality of the situation.
It's a nice thing. I think
I'm certainly gonna love having it.
Look,
but-
EJ got to participate in the eating towards the end.
That's right. Everybody got to eat it.
And he was down on the craft homestyle more
For reference, it was a mistake to use shredded American cheese in the homestyle. I should have used cheddar, but I actually didn't.
I thought we were out.
We were, and I had planned to buy shredded cheddar, and I must have missed it in the pre-roll, so I had to use whatever cheese was on hand.
Yeah, you guys like that home style Mac.
Well, I liked it the
Kraft
most.
one. I just couldn't get it. I didn't get it. I don't know. Like I said in the show here, I don't know if it's the breadcrumbs or what, but
Maybe we'll do it again.
Not breadcrumb fans.
yeah, you won't find a breadcrumb fan among us.
Yes.
Do you like breadcrumbs?
I do like breadcrumbs, but I don't eat mac and cheese, so maybe that's
Maybe that's it.
I like it on other things. I like it for frying and making fried green tomatoes.
Oh, that's so good.
Actually, that sounds good.
It's a terrible
Can we watch
movie.
that movie?
It's a terrible film.
That's gonna be my spin-off.
It's a
is
pretty
fried
good
green
movie.
tomatoes.
Kathy Bates.
I was about to say
PGM.
it's Kathy Bates.
And
Yeah, it's about over.
this was us telling you to have a good holiday. I hope you did.
I hope you did.
It was a while
I
back.
hope you have a good one next year and the one after.
I don't know what we're gonna do for a Christmas episode next year. I promise there'll be a Halloween one. I don't know about Christmas.
I think we should pick another holiday.
Yeah, we
Maybe a
say- we-
Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, maybe. Isn't that what sitcoms do? They change it up.
Yeah. And now just the credits.
Can I tell you, it was actually really hard to do that.
Really?
Because you would think, right? Just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
No, it's not that easy.
If you're doing it in Photoshop like I do, and then just do the motion, effect. Photoshop only allows it to be a certain length. It can't be bigger than a certain amount.
What I would have done, Frankie, is create a brush that is the texture, and then painted a large canvas with the brush. So a brush that is a whole set of credits, and then use that to paint a canvas.
Oh, that's crazy.
What do you mean? It would have worked. You just would have created a really long credit scroll, right? Because that's what you ended up doing, right?
I don't know if you know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, well, this is the way that I would have done. I would have solved this problem. Maybe it's like a 1992 solution.
It is.
But create a canvas
First,
that's
open
like
up GIMP.
It's so much better. Just
32,000 pixels long, and then
Shut
it's
up,
over.
John. Scholastic.
Classic.